Your Finebaum cadence is immaculate, by the way.
Because that's how that motherfucker be sounding, man.
Yo, but no. So Georgia had a great showing against Florida. I mean, Florida didn't have an offensive pulse until we put in the 3 stars, and and the walk-ons. So the score is not as pretty, but I'll tell you, man, we needed a big rivalry win. We needed to beat a top end Division I program. We needed that. Quarterback's looking great. I mean, he's looking great. Carson Beck's looking amazing.
He's definitely picked it up.
Yeah, he has. Like I'm
unlike Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, golly, I'm shocked.
We've actually seen progression in this guy, right?
Yeah, we've seen it and it's been beautiful. But I'll tell you what, man, Parlay Pete. I think that Ohio State does have have the better wins against better teams.
Yeah,
and I think Michigan has been the most dominant team. But I also think the bottom of the Big Ten is so bad that, yeah, you stump a mud hole in them because look at your front, look at their front. There's no comparison.
I thought Ohio State looked bad against Indiana in that first game. They didn't fuck them covering or whatever, but they didn't look good. Like, they just didn't look good. McCord still hasn't really looked good, considering he's got 2 top 10 pick wide receivers. They should be looking a little bit better than what they look. And, look, Ryan Day gets emotional because Lou Holtz said something to him. Penn State's Penn State, honestly. That win's impressive because they are a 10-win football team, but it's the same old Penn State. I mean, they're
Mark
stuck
Richt, Georgia.
Yeah, that's about to say they're literally stuck in that Mark Richt era at Georgia. I mean, they're a team that, they're going to come into a game ranked a little bit below you. It's supposed to be a big game, and then they're just going to fall flat on their face. And so, it's impressive because they're, at the end of the day, all you can do is play your schedule. And based on their schedule, they have the better wins. I mean, I would like to think that Washington, Florida State obviously got a big win against LSU, and that kind of is what it is. But that Clemson win no longer is impressive. The Duke one's even wearing off a little bit because they're a 3-loss team. Washington beat Oregon, who, like I say, you think Oregon's better than Washington. So, but Oregon is also a team that's got some quality wins. And the Pac-12 started off, at one point there was 8 or 9 teams ranked in the top 25. We know that the Ohio State-Michigan thing is going to end up playing itself out to where the loser of that game is gone.
I don't know if they're gone, though. I think putting Ohio State at 1 allows the loser to go to 4.
Well, it just depends. If Washington runs the table and,
Oregon runs the table and beats Washington. No, they won't play. They won't play in the Pac-12. Never mind.
Yeah, because they don't. No, they're going to have a Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's even a conference thing. I think they do just take the top 2 teams. Like, that was how they were going to do it this year. I could be wrong. Let me see. I think that is how they had it set up.
I just see it setting up for a 1-loss Ohio State to get in over a 1-loss Oregon. But I think a 1-loss Oregon, despite Ohio State having the second best defense in the league, which you're in the Big Ten, so I don't care. Getting in.
Last year, though, it was a little bit more of a fluid situation for Ohio State to have snuck in the way that they did.
Yeah. They had
TCU was a
1-loss
non-conference team too, and their loss wasn't as impressive as Ohio State. So it was kind of like, well, how can you not put them in, but then you're going to put them in? They got the same record. Neither of them won their conference title. So how could you put them in but not put them in? And so, this year it feels different because Florida State probably is going to run the table. I don't know where their triple-up game is.
They'd have to shit.
Florida would have to probably be their triple-up game. They're not going to lose the ACC title game. So, no. Florida is the only team legitimately that could beat them. I don't think that that's going to happen. And with Washington, we shall see. But of course, if they run through who they've still got to play, like they get USC this week, big game. Obviously, USC clearly has fallen short of expectation, but still a quality opponent, and that still is somebody, if you beat them like on the road, that's still a good win.
Has USC fallen short of were USC's expectations too high?
I think realistically, yeah, considering how bad that defense was, yes. Like I don't think we even realize how bad the defense really was. Like this is one of the worst defenses in college football. You know, but you think based on last year with all the momentum they had, because think about it, if USC had just beaten, who was it that they lost to at the end of the year? Was it Oregon?
Oregon or Utah?
They lost to one of them, but basically all they had to do was win that game, and they didn't. And that's what set the table for Ohio State to get in anyway. It's like,
hey, you know the one thing though I did take away from the rankings?
What?
Alabama at 8.
Well, here's the thing too. Alabama knows that they just got to run the table as well. They get it. They get a big test here, and of course, the Auburn game's always just a game for them. And then they know that they have a date with Georgia at Mercedes-Benz, so they know that if they beat Georgia in that game, there's no way you don't put them in. So because Georgia will more than likely be undefeated headed into that game,
and as long as it's close,
that's where the fucked upness is going to happen. If Alabama were to somehow beat Georgia, let's say it's a field goal game winner. What does the committee do in a scenario of a one-loss Pac-12 champion, undefeated Florida State, and then the winner of the Ohio State-Michigan game undefeated? Who do you determine gets that third spot? Because Bama's in, Florida State's in, and then the Ohio State-Michigan winner's in. So now you're choosing between a Pac-12 champion and Georgia.
You got to give it to Georgia. State. You have to give it to Georgia.
I don't think that you can leave Georgia out winning 2 in a row. I know that this year is totally different from last year.
But you can't not, if you're going to pick a one-loss team, and the one-loss team is the reigning back-to-back national champion, as long as they don't get blown out.
Yeah.
If it's a close game.
Yeah, game-winning field goal.
Game-winning field goal, or even if it's a 10-point game, but it's tight, and Alabama scores
they had to go for it on a 4th down in their own territory at the end.
Alabama gets a cheap touchdown, or Georgia gives up the touchdown and get the ball back to try to score and kick and get the onside. You if it's a tight game, you can't. It would be disgusting to leave them out. I won't say you can't, because you could just say, well, Oregon dominated and they lost one game to Washington that they should have won, and they and look here, the Pac-12 is going away, and you talk about Oregon, Washington. They're not carrying the number that you want on the ratings, anyways. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But you also got to think about a one-loss Big 12,
which would be but see, then that'll muddy the situation, especially if Texas does it and then they beat Oklahoma.
Oh God, yeah.
They would definitely put Texas in, A, because of the numbers, but then B, they'll say, well, how do you put Alabama in? They beat Alabama and they have one loss, and their one loss, Texas's one loss is against Oklahoma, and they can say, well, then they avenge that loss by beating them in the Pac-12 championship game.
How hot would Saban be if they win the SEC? Georgia still gets in, and Texas gets in because they run the table for the rest of the year. And their thing is, well, Texas beat Alabama head to head.
He called bullshit.
Yeah,
but then again, last year his biggest thing was this: when it came to determining teams, he literally bought Vegas into it. He's like, what would the guys in the desert say if we were matched up against any of these teams? And he was absolutely right. Alabama would have been favored against anyone but Georgia last year. Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State, they would have been favored in a neutral site game against them.
TCU didn't belong, man. I know they beat Michigan. TCU didn't belong.
Yeah. Well, and that was evident in the national championship game, right?
Is Max Duggan on the roster today?
I thought he did get picked up. He probably isn't anymore, but I thought somebody had picked him up. Let me see.
Quentin Johnson's no good. I got him on my bench, or maybe I finally cut him.
Hopefully you cut him. Okay, Duggan is
a free agent.
No, he's practice squad Chargers.
Free agent.
He's on the practice squad, man. He's He's out there. He's running a scout team for Tyson Baguettes last week. You know that he was playing his role. Probably wondering how the fuck is he starting there, and I'm sitting here. But
I mean, those are the breaks.
I do not know what happened with this TV. Go ahead.
Thoughts on Dabo Swinney this week, man? Kind of lost his shit, didn't he?
Well, it's got to be frustrating to see, something that you essentially did help build.
No, you built.
Yeah, well, I think we need to start giving a little bit more credit to Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence is really what this boils down to.
He got him away from Georgia.
Well, I'm just saying he still got 5 stars, so it ain't. I just think he got some really special players, is what that was, and that's what really propelled that program.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably hard for him to do and look at. He's getting criticism. He knows his job is safe though. Like they're not going to fire him this year. Like he's not getting fired.
No.
Because Clemson can't do any better. Honestly, I don't think that they'd be. Who would they go out and get? Like I don't think that they could go out and get someone else. Anyways, tough though. I mean, tough for him. But he was absolutely right in everything that he said to the fan. Basically, saying if you look at the numbers, he's like nobody. He said Georgia and Alabama are the only 2 schools that have done what we've done.
Yeah, and
that's it.
Like 12 straight years of 10 wins, man. Like
yeah.
But here's what I would say to push back on what Dabo had to say is that once you set the standard, that becomes the expectation.
Yeah.
And now you've set that standard, and because of those 12 straight 10-win seasons, 4 losses before Halloween, 2 losses before October.
People get to talking.
Yeah. Now, I think the young guy was wrong to talk about his salary. I think that's where he stepped in shit.
Yeah.
But if you don't bring up the salary, I think the guy's valid in everything that he's saying. And even with the cockiness of Dabo, because Dabo's saying, I'm not going to the portal. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in NIL. That's not the way we play college football.
Yeah.
Well, Dabo, Coach K didn't believe in one and done until he did and won another national championship in 2015. He didn't believe in one and done until he was able to get Kyrie, Paolo, Brandon Ingram, Jason Tatum. Okay,
yeah.
You're number 2 with in the NFL and pro players, and you're graduating 98%. I'm pretty sure you're running a Florida State type academic operation up there.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, that number drops if you don't change to where the game is going. And I also think that Dabo was spot on with what he said. But at the same time, man, once you have that radio show, you open yourself up to be criticized by the fans. And when you say, if you don't like the way I'm doing it, don't root for us, grow up.
Yeah, it's got to be a turnoff, right? Like,
yeah, But it goes to the guy saying, yeah, after 2018, I feel like you got cocky. Because, hey, man, I come from a long line of season ticket holders. And I know for me, as a season ticket holder, I'm way more invested into the week to week of the Falcons than I was just as a fan who watched games on TV, would go to a game if they had a home game while I was in town,
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, man, y'all fucking with my money.
Fucking with my money and, my time, right?
Yeah.
My valuable time. I could be doing something else on a Sunday instead of watching you guys lose, and then you keep trotting out the same bullshit every week.
Yeah, like Desmond Ritter.
And I'm just and I'm just on the phone. I'm phoning in because I want to see where you're coming from. Like, I know this isn't okay, and I know you're disappointed too, but where did it go wrong? Like, what's been the issue? We had a guy here who was a highly recruited guy that was supposed to step in right after T-Law.
And looked good against Notre Dame when he stepped in.
Right. Looked good. You had him. Then it looked like the offense was fucked up with him. So then you go and get another offensive coordinator, somebody whose brother is this offensive wizard, right? You bring him in as your OC. DJ leaves. because you got this other guy, Cade, this dude that's supposed to be the next big thing too.
Yep.
And now it looks like he looks just like DJU to me. They look like they're doing the same shit. So what is it? Because you're the one that's putting these practices together. You're the one that's hiring your staff. We just want to know, like, what's going on. And you're right. Like, he shouldn't have brought his money into it because that's just none of his business. It's unfortunate, of course, because they report this stuff. But, like, it's nobody's business how much money somebody makes.
And Dabo deserves to be the second highest paid coach in college football.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a Dabo fan, but what Dabo has done, no, you've earned that. Is he the second best coach in college football today as we speak? I don't know.
Right.
But if Dabo's not top 5, who is? I mean, look at what Jimbo's making. This guy's getting the most 5 stars and getting 5 wins.
Yeah.
5 wins. Either way, it's not the right answer.
And he's got the most job security too.
Oh,
to
yeah.
go along with it,
That buyout's disgusting.
Oh, it's atrocious. It's atrocious. And they're going to have to bite that bullet too. But there's no way you want to continue to lose football games. That's like obviously what's going to happen.
No, and especially with Texas and Oklahoma coming to the SEC, now you have your Big 12 brothers, like the real big dogs of the Big 12 coming here. No, we can't have this.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Exactly. These schools that were whooping your ass just where you were at, a decade ago or a little over a decade ago. Now they're back to kind of take it again. And then now because they're in the SEC, they're going to still be pulling players away from you because many people would much rather be, certainly in the state of Texas, I'd rather live in Austin than College Station. So
I think the women are hotter in Austin than College Station.
Yeah. God damn it.
So, the advantage that A&M had is gone. But no, if Dabo doesn't adjust, then Dabo's done.
Yeah.
And I mean, RIP to Bobby Knight just passed away, legendary college coach. He didn't want to adjust. He wanted to be an old school coach.
Yeah, and that's what got him fired at Texas Tech. If you remember, he's putting his hands on people.
Yeah, and you can't put your hands on people no more. We got camera phones. We got cameras.
And this was just back in 06, 07 when he coached at Texas Tech or something like that. And he threw a chair. It was a lot. I mean, there's a lot of shit going on at Texas Tech. But,
bro, imagine being at practice and blowing a layup and your coach flinging a chair across the floor. Yo, Pops. I think I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't even throw the chair. You're the freshman. You're number 12 on the roster, so you're not even in the practice rotation. And you just watch this man just go off next to you and just fling a chair. Hey, Dad, he just threw a chair because our best player missed a layup.
I don't think I want to be a part of this anymore.
I think I'll go to Texas Southern, man. I know it's HBCU. I'll sit out a year. I can't be in this toxic work environment.
Do I smell a Derrick Henry touchdown coming, by the way?
I mean, it looked like one. I thought he was about to score on first down and goal, but he didn't. But it looks like it.
Hopefully they load up and give it to him. My TV is acted up in here.
That's unfortunate. Another thing that happened in college football was Colorado Buffs lost another game, game they should have lost. But more importantly, they lost their valuables during the game.
Yeah. In Beverly Hills at that.
Beverly Hills. That's where I want to get robbed. I think UCLA and the Rose Bowl should reimburse those guys for the value of everything that's lost. I know that some of those players had expensive chains. We're talking about phones. We're talking about headphones. We're talking about shoes, whatever the case they may be. That's absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, 100%. There's no – first of all, where are the cameras? Let's start there. And I'm sure that they have to have cameras, right? Not in the locker room, but certainly who's accessing these doors? How are these doors getting access? Are they keys? Are they fobs? How are they getting in? Because typically this stuff's fobs, right? To where you're tapping something. It's not – I'm sure maybe there is a key lock on it. The Rose Bowl is a pretty old facility, but I'm sure that they've upgraded that thing.
At least Bob or passcode, right?
Touchdown, Derrick Henry, baby.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
sorry for you, but
yeah. But yeah, no. So I think they needed, the school should pay it back. However many hundreds of thousands it is.
Mm-hmm.
I also think there should be some punitive damages paid to Colorado, because that's just totally unacceptable.
Yeah.
Like I should be able to leave $1 million cash in the locker room, and the only people who should be suspected of stealing it are on my team.
Yep.
And we can figure that out before the plane takes off.
Yep.
I think that, I mean, I know the NCAA sucks at punishing people, but I think there should be some high levels of punishment. I think some people should be fired. I think some people should be locked up, man. Like that's unacceptable. That is being recorded in the bathroom level of unacceptable.
Yeah.
There are certain places where you are expected privacy. If I go in a stall door and I lock it, nobody should see my cock but me. Or the person I brought in here with me.
All right.
And I'm not a bathroom fucker.
Yeah.
Me and my wife are classy. We like the bed.
Yeah.
But no, but for real, I think this should be, I think heads should fucking roll, because this is beyond, this is just.
And that something like this had to have been an inside hit job too, because it's the first time that it's happened. Plenty of teams have played there this year, but that team specifically, this is a celebration. You know what I mean? And Prime and them, all this swag and stuff, they knew what was in there, because they saw them boys walk off that bus and they could see it.
Yeah.
And they absolutely need to probably do something about that. Not even a problem. They should absolutely be looking into it. And there should be some sort of reimbursement that's given out. Now, granted, if the brothers were smart, they probably got it insured anyways.
I hope so.
I hope so. And granted,
hey, you get that new watch insured?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
You know, in Colorado they come in now.
Hi.
You know what they do.
Chase Davis on the beat, yeah. Put that shit on. Put that shit on. Put that shit on. Put that shit on.
I was gonna send something to Jude. Matter of fact, actually, it's still the perfect time to send it. Let me send it. I'm gonna put it in the group real quick.
Go ahead and send it. And while you're sending that, I'm gonna wait for you to send that. And then I'm gonna go hit the head.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go to hour 3. We're gonna talk a little NBA. We'll close out with this week's slate in the NFL and any other random stuff like Saucy Santana versus DJ Academics.
A battle we never thought we'd get in 2023, right?
The battle of the big boys.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we've got a nice little college slate, though, lined up. That's for certain. Let's see here. Kind of crazy how bad the NBA has been so far to start this year off. Then again, who's really surprised by that? I know I'm not. I am not surprised at all by how bad this is. Kind of crazy, too. We got a Najee Harris sighting today. Kind of ridiculous, actually, when you look at it. But then again, I guess he was kind of overdue to get started playing well, too.
Who are you talking about?
So we got the fact that we're even getting Najee Harris sightings today.
I mean, yeah, he scored a touchdown.
He scored a touchdown. I mean, his yards per carry is over 5 in the game. Like that's like, wow. It's like, is this rookie Najee Harris?
There's only been 46 plays ran in this game.
I love it. It's everything that I'm putting in. My fantasy team just got. That's all I needed out there. I mean, obviously he's gonna have a whole second half, but the fact that he got me my double digits already, I'm shit's peachy over here. And my bet for this game, I actually took both teams to score 15 points at plus odds. I wanted to do Derrick Henry's anytime touchdown because I was like, yeah, he's got to get in this week, right? But like, I don't know. I was a little hard headed, but both teams should actually still get to 15.
I'd hope so.
Well, as long as Pittsburgh can get 3 here, I mean, we're talking either a touchdown or 2 field goals from each team in the second half. They should be able to happen.
Hey, while we're on this and you're talking about a little bit of fantasy here, I just want to give a big shout out to James Garoppolo for being so bad that they couldn't even kick field goals.
Oh, yeah, you would have been screwed.
Yeah. Sorry, Nico.
That and then that they gave Reynolds the ball at the end of the game instead.
I was really mad when Reynolds scored that touchdown and it got called back. They go, oh, yeah, we're good now.
Yeah.
They're not seeing the ball again. And if they do, it's all knees.
Right, pretty much. And you knew, and the thing is, too, you knew the Raiders weren't kicking any field goals because it was a 12-point game.
Exactly. Is there anything else you want to talk about in the college football arena?
No. And while you transition into hour 3, I'm about to put in this Wi-Fi password so I can see if I can get the game back on.
All righty. Well, hey, guys. It's hour 3. It's hour 3. It's hour 3 with AC Lee and Parody Pete. About to kick off hour 3 here, guys. We're going to start off with the NBA. We're going to talk a good NBA. We've been watching the NBA all year. You'll probably get our instant reactions as things that may matter happen in this Thursday night football game that I hope all of you bet the under in because it's going under. Jeffrey Simmons apparently just got called for an unnecessary roughness penalty on Kenny Pickett. I don't think Kenny Pickett should get the benefit of the doubt, but you know what? We got to preserve the quarterbacks because, man, let me tell you, not a lot of good quarterbacks playing this week. A lot of good quarterbacks are hurt. Listen to some of these quarterback matchups that the NFL is not happy about, and more importantly, their TV networks aren't happy about. Daniel Jones versus Aiden O'Connell, Jaron Hall versus Taylor Heineke, Clayton Tune versus PJ Walker, Tyson Bagent versus Derek Carr, and Brett Rippon versus Jordan Love. You talk about a who's who list of who the hell are you? Golly, a who's list of who is who. Yeah, man. As much as people talk about the great quarterback talent that we have in the league today, at the top end, it's great, but it's not a lot of quarterbacks. There aren't a lot of quarterbacks. And honestly, man, that's why the other football leagues don't work. You can't have these secondary football leagues when you don't even have 38 to 40 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And when you talk about bad football gets worse with bad quarterback play. I mean, watch the Steelers. Quarterback play is terrible. Bad football. Najee Harris just got tackled behind the line. We thought he may have a chance at getting another touchdown. And if he does, I'm going to be sick because I dropped him in a fantasy league today before the game started. Well, I'm tied for first in that league, so I have some confidence there. Not our league, another league.
Yeah, just winning it all this year, huh?
Hey, look here, man. I'm just trying to be great. That's all. I was talking about the terrible quarterback play that we have coming up this week. Mm-hmm. And I tied that to why the other football leagues just will never work because, I mean, we don't have enough NFL quarterbacks.
So I heard you. Did you say that Brett Rippon was starting the game?
Yeah.
For who?
According to the internet, yeah, Brett Rippon starting.
For who though?
I don't know who he plays for. Let me look it up.
He was in Denver. Hold on.
Brett Rippon plays for the Rams.
Oh shit! So
Yeah.
Matt Stafford, they ruled him out.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Wow, that's nuts. I just remember him in Denver because he like started a Monday night game randomly, and it was like, you know. But then again, Denver before Russell Wilson, I guess it'd have been kind of a quarterback carousel too. I don't know, but
Hey, you want to talk some hoops?
let's talk some hoops.
All right, hold on. I got something for you. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go.
Philly is just, changing my role, knowing I can give more, knowing I can do more. But if you want to be honest, like being on the leash, and like me knowing, in order for us to get where we want to get to, I was going to have to be playing my best offensively, whether it's facilitating and scoring the basketball, and Joel as well. I don't think when I'm in a leash, I'm not going to just shooting the basketball every time. I mean, like I think the game, and I'm a creator on the court. You know what I mean? So if I got a voice to where I can, hey coach, I see this. What you think about this? Then it's like, all right, okay. Somebody that trusts me, that believes in me, that understands me, that I'm just not I'm not a system player. I am a system. You know what I mean? So somebody that can have that dialogue with me and understand and move forward and figure out and make adjustments on the fly throughout the course of games. That's all I really care about.
Wasn't that such a "me is greater than we" ass comment?
No, I took it as, yeah, you know what? It is a me is greater than we comment, but
That's
think
what it sounded like. I get what he meant, but
But I
like,
I think the coach is the one who is saying me is greater than we. Because here's what I believe about James Harden. I believe that James Harden is a very smart basketball player. I believe that James Harden takes too much flack because his off the court activities are a bit more publicized. I think that James Harden has fuck you money. So, and he has fuck you talent. And when you mix fuck you money with fuck you talent, and somebody who's not trying to be the darling of the league, like a LeBron, a KD, like, those guys who are caring so much about being the greatest player ever, but actually just making their game as great as possible. I think that this is what you get, right? And he did what he did in Houston. Yeah, he wanted to, but that's also the way the team was built. The team was built for James Harden to have the ball, dribble the hell out of the ball, shoot,
step back.
yeah, like that's what the team was built for him to do. And you saw when he went to Brooklyn, the team was built differently and he played differently.
Yeah.
You saw when he was in Philly, the team was built differently and he played differently. And when Embiid was not available in the playoffs, he played different.
He cooked. He had 45 in that first game. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a 50 ball in the playoffs too. And he had 2 game winners in round 2. Now, don't get me wrong. He didn't show up in game 6 and 7. He did not.
Which is where it mattered, right?
I mean, but you don't get game 6 and 7 if you don't get
without him doing what he did. I get it, but
I am just less critical of James Harden, even though in totalitarity, is that how you say it? I don't like him demanding. In totality, there we go. In totality, I don't like the number of trades that he's demanded, but I understand the demand for every trade. I don't want to be the dead horse. Sorry, Peter. I don't want to be I don't want to be dead wood. Paul, sorry, Dwight.
Crazy.
But no, I don't want to just keep beating the same drum. But I do believe that James
can't get him off your mind, huh?
Telling you, beating that dead wood.
He'd love you.
I'm not his type. He's not mine either. But I think that James Harden is right. And when you bring players together, especially high-end players who play, and you make them think, you don't get the best version of them. And I think part of the best version of Joel Embiid, what they believe to be the best version of Joel Embiid, does not give you the best version of James Harden.
Right. Yeah, I think that when you look at the system, I mean, what is Doc's system? Because that's basically who he was criticizing, right? he's kind of criticizing Doc. And
Yep. He should.
I don't know why I was about to say Ty Lue. Ty Lue is one of Doc's guys. So, you know, obviously he does it a little differently, right? Ty Lue's won a championship. He knows how to, you know, balance all that ego that's going to be on that team. Hell, he played with the Lakers, right? So he played with Kobe and Shaq. So he got to see that. Phil Jackson is still one of his guys too. I think that it can work. And the reason why it's going to work is that even though because the NBA put in that new rule or whatever, there's guys that are still going to miss games because we're seeing it already. Like Phoenix is pulling this shit already early in the year. So they're going to pull it too. They'll eventually get to it. There are going to be nights where one guy sits out. They're basically almost going to probably take turns. Russ will be the only guy that is there for all 82, but then the other three are just going to kind of switch around.
When James isn't hurt, he plays.
Yeah, but in
Houston, he was an Iron Man. He was 82, 81, 80.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I think as long as
it ain't been that way. Maybe now that he's back at the crib, you know, maybe that adds a little extra. I mean, obviously, Paul George said, you know, you got 4 Southern California guys, you know, being able to come together and possibly being able to create something special by winning a championship for the younger brother team of LA, right?
Team that they didn't care about. Yeah, no. And I think that after Kobe came out and criticized James Harden and said, like, you can't win a championship that way, that resonated with James. He's from LA. He's a Kobe fan. Well, you know, when Kobe says something to a certain generation, it's gospel.
Yeah.
And James is of that generation. If Kobe says something about my game, I'm going to take that to heart. And we don't know the conversations that they've had because I'm sure that when James was a prospect, he met Kobe before he went to Arizona State.
Worked out with him and stuff. Yeah.
Like, and in the league, when James was becoming James, yeah, him and Kobe talked. You know what I mean? Like, he had Kobe's direct line. I am more than confident.
I'm sure James, was he on one of those? He was on one of the Olympic. No, he went on 2012. He went on the 2012 team. Was he, Harden?
I don't think so.
Because that would have been
next
summer. He would have went to Houston.
Yeah,
they had just lost to OKC, and I know he was coming off the bench, right, averaging 16. He was
he wasn't. He was on.
So all right, so yeah, and of course I know during the Olympics those guys definitely talked. You know,
I mean, because we don't even look at Kobe as a Philly guy; we look at him as the LA guy.
Right. He is California. Well, LA.
Wow, we got Bears Panthers next Thursday.
Battle of the who got who in the picks war, right? Because if Carolina wins that game, if the Bears win the game, it makes Carolina look sillier.
Yeah. But no, back to this. Let's talk about the trade itself. Daryl Morey, who usually wins trades, I think personally that he traded James Harden for
a bag of Doritos.
I was gonna say for trick or treat candy.
Yeah.
And Daryl messed up by not making a trade at the beginning of the summer. And he allowed James Harden to create a narrative, allowed James Harden to be upset, and he allowed James Harden to say, I only want to go to the Clippers. If he gets ahead of this, hey, James, give me 5 teams. We're going to re-sign you. Then we're going to move you. And we're going to move you. It may not be when you want to get moved because we have to make it look like we're on the up and up, that we're re-signing you because we want you here. Then somebody gave us an offer and actually give him that transparency. But apparently, like, after the extension wasn't given to him, like, during the season.
Yeah.
The conversation stopped there, and Elton Brand was the only person who was kind of keeping the peace.
And rightfully so, because you look at it this way. He took less money the summer before and reworked his deal. They got his boy in who ended up goes with the Clippers anyways, right?
Yeah, let me read off the pieces.
Go ahead.
Sixers sent PJ Tucker and Flip, somebody who we don't care about, to the Clippers for Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nick Batum, KJ Martin, a 2028 unprotected first round, 2 second-round picks, and a 2029 pick swap, and an additional first-round pick from OKC. So a box of Doritos.
Yeah, a bunch of guys that are all going to do the same thing on the Sixers that aren't going to necessarily – certainly it's not going to be the value of a player that James Harden is, right? Even with those guys combining what they do, he just doesn't bring what James Harden does. That first-round pick could be interesting only if the shit blows up in the Clippers, right? Because that could end up being a really high pick. But, like, at the same time, then that's when you start asking the question of, okay, let's say that it's a second-round exit for these guys. What happens with that team, right?
What does Embiid do? Like, I think KJ Martin is a good young player.
He was probably the best pick out of that because Batum and them, like, they are who they are. Robert Covington already played for the Sixers. That's kind of how he got his name a little, I guess. Like, Batum's pretty much done. I think Batum said this is his last year anyways.
Yeah. So do you package the expirings and some draft picks for
a complete rebuild? That's
for a angry Zach LaVine?
What are you giving up? I mean, I know you're saying you basically everything you just got plus maybe another guy.
Yeah,
Chicago's they got to blow that shit up too.
Yeah, so I look at it like I know we can't totally judge the trade until the trade deadline because the thought is that Daryl's going to make another move. But you know what? I don't know Daryl Morey. I'm not a part of the NBA media. I'm just a guy sitting in my office with an opinion. And Daryl Morey got taken to the cleaners.
Yeah.
And I know that we give Daryl Morey all this love because he's the greatest GM ever who's never won a championship, right behind Sam Presti, who's never won a championship. And Rob Pelinka doesn't know what the hell he's doing, but somehow he won a championship. You know, it's fucking nuts. But I just don't. Philly didn't get better. They didn't get better. The Clippers got better. Now we may say that the Clippers closer to winning a championship? I don't know. But they're a better team.
Right.
Especially with the injuries that they have. Oh, how will Russ and James Harden get along? Just fine. James was out of Houston, and he told Russ to go ahead and get out of here.
Yeah.
How does the locker room thing work? Works just fine. I don't care if Terrence Mann's not happy. I don't care if what's my man's name?
The way Terrence Mann looked, he almost looked like, damn, I wish I had got sent to Philly because I would have got more shots up. Like
I don't care if they're not happy. They don't make or break shit. No, nobody's going to a game in a Terrence Mann jersey but his girl, his side piece, and his mom. Same goes for Norman Powell. Y'all ain't pushing P.
It's bigger than them. And, you know, at the end of the day, where do you think that this puts the Clippers in that pantheon in the West? Where do they fall with this? Because I think a lot of people, oddly enough, had the Clippers more as like the 6th, maybe even the 7th best team, depending on how high you are on Oklahoma City. A lot of people had them kind of 6th, 7th in the West out of that gauntlet. Like,
I think once Ty Lue figures out the rotation, they can be as good as anybody, but they could also be a 7 seed. I think their ceiling increased, but I think their floor is their floor. I don't think their floor dropped. I don't think their floor got raised because the biggest thing about the Clippers is health and the fact that they're the Clippers.
Right.
Do I think there's enough ball to share for these guys? No. They probably need Dwight Howard if they need more balls to share.
Yeah.
But we don't have that.
You're a clever SOB. You know that?
But I do believe that this team has become more diverse, and we talked about it in pre-production. You start all four of them. You get Russ subbed out early. You let him run that second unit. Hell, you can sub out James early. Let him run that second unit. Like
Yeah.
there's so much diversity that they can bring, and the fact that you can have 4 top 75 level players on the court at all times. I know Paul didn't make top 75, and he shouldn't have. But
Yeah.
if you're talking about ability, Paul George might be the best player on their team today.
Sure. You could argue. I think Kawhi Leonard's the best player. But
Yeah. And I wouldn't.
think that he's actually going to be the one that's willing to sacrifice more.
But
I actually think that he will sacrifice because he's kind of done it before.
And he has a game that can sacrifice most because Paul George, yeah, he's an ISO scorer, but Paul George can score off the ball.
Yeah,
play off the ball. And Paul, unlike James, Paul George had to wait his turn, or just like James, Paul had to wait his turn. Kawhi had to wait his turn, and I think that those three guys, not so much Russ, who has been recently humbled, can dial their games back to adjust to the guy.
right.
Now, your All NBA is over with, big dogs. It's over with. It's just gonna be hard.
They looked. I mean, now games aren't going to go like they went yesterday, and obviously Harden wasn't on the floor either. But boy, I mean, did you see Kawhi in the first half?
Yes,
He was fucking cooking.
bro. I turned the game off. At one point. I'm like, I guess I'll go to bed early.
Yeah, same old same when it comes to Clippers Lakers.
Yeah, and then I'm laying
recently.
right. So I'm laying in bed watching the game on my phone and listening to, but I want to listen to Big Ack, and I go, hold on. We got a good game here. Why am I watching this on my Pro Max screen when I could be watching on my 65-inch in the living room?
Yeah.
You know what? Wife is asleep. I'm going back to the living room. I'm watching the game.
Yeah. Getting your hoop fix in on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. So again, I don't think this makes them a championship. Like, I don't think this puts them in the championship conversation more than they were, because we still got to have Paul George healthy. We still got to have Kawhi healthy. But I mean, their team got better, and they didn't give up Terrence Mann. They didn't give up Norman Powell. They gave up guys who hardly matter and a young player who wasn't getting burned.
If at All-Star break they're in the top 3, they are going to be the biggest buyout guys, because somebody's going to fall. I don't know, like the way that the Miami Heat thing is starting off right now, a guy like Kevin Love could get at it, right? Like he could just somehow, they just cut him and let him go where he wants to go. Because Miami, let me tell you, they stink too. And you know what the weird thing is? We kind of knew Miami really hasn't been that good of a basketball team. They really aren't. Like, I know that's so hard to say because they've been to 2 finals in 4 years, but like they're really not that good of a team. And Kyle Lowry's old too. He's another guy that'll, if things just continue to go south there, that's a team that you could see. But like I'm saying, like the Clippers could use a Kevin Love, another UCLA guy, right?
Yeah. Bring
him in. And he would fit kind of a need too for the team, because he can still stretch, he can still shoot. He's not really, a guy anymore, but he can rebound, and good rotation piece with Zubac or something, like, you know what I mean? Or even a rotation where he's on the floor with Zubac. Like, it could work out. But I see them just being huge buyout guys, like come All-Star break for bigs.
Are you buying the Denver hype to go back-to-back?
I'm buying them as legitimate contenders. I don't think it's so early in the year, realistically, to try and pick out who looks. They certainly looked the part. They got their ass smacked yesterday, but they were kind of due to lose. I mean, they started off really hot. Milwaukee, let me tell you, if there's a team, we need to be looking at, they've had some pretty embarrassing losses. Like the Hawks went up there and beat the shit out of them. And then they got the shit beat out of them yesterday too by Toronto, who has been a surprisingly, Dennis Schroeder looks great, by the way. I don't know if you've seen like his stat line or anything, but he's been really good for them.
I mean, Dennis Schroeder's not great. He's a really good basketball player.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that other team in LA. You've been critical.
I liked what I saw yesterday because that was what my expectation for if they're going to be the best version of themselves, this is how it's going to have to go. And look, the gambling enemy is upset. I needed LeBron to score 2 more points. He just was not aggressive against Orlando. It was just the craziest shit ever. I like aggressive LeBron because to me, that is the Lakers at their best. It is aggressive LeBron. Now, look, I know in that Memphis series last year, for instance, that was, kind of Austin Reeves had already been kind of teetering with coming out, but then he really came out in that playoff series to where LeBron was letting these guys cook, and it kind of looked good, right? Everybody kind of got paid off that series.
Yeah.
Oddly enough. Like, that's kind of like Vando, all those guys, they all got paychecks because of that. And, LeBron averaged almost 30 last year.
28.
Yes. So we know that he can still score the ball, but I just like a much more aggressive LeBron, because D'Lo is really playing off the ball and LeBron kind of is running the point on that team.
Well, yeah. D'Lo is, he's good. He's on a one-way trip out of LA.
Yeah.
I mean, he played good last night, but D'Lo's gone.
Well, he's going to be the chip if they can upgrade. So they want him to continue to play well. If he's a 20-point guy, I don't know who they could possibly get to make an actual big three.
An angry Zach LaVine,
DeRozan,
a struggling Mavericks Kyrie. Who else gets upset? I don't know. Somebody might get upset and want out.
Let me think.
Like they wouldn't go after Cat.
Cat wouldn't be. I don't think he'd be a good fit, anyways. The Hawks need a guy like Cat.
No, I know. I'm saying they wouldn't go
after the Hawks.
I don't know how they could make a Trae Young trade, which I wouldn't want Trae Young with the Lakers.
I don't think that. Well, that actually could work. Crazy enough, Trae Young has become a much worse shooter.
Yeah, that's why.
He has significantly fell off the cliff in terms of being a 3-point shooter and just shooter in general. Like, he gets a lot of his points from free throws and kind of like that, that floater shit that he kind of does. Like, he gets a lot of his points that way. Like, this dude is not making jump shots anymore. It's crazy.
It really is, and it's alarming. Shout out to DeJounte for having a 41-point game the other day.
It's his team too, bro. That's and I kind of felt this last year, but I think that he's the best player on the team. Like, I know that Trae is, but I think DeJounte really is actually the best player on the team.
I think the team is better if it runs through DeJounte.
Yeah.
Maxi's been playing out of his mind so far this year.
More opportunity. Well, I mean, what? He's probably taking 7 to 8 more shots a game now with no Harden. Because you want to know who they've actually been leaning on a little bit more? Kelly Oubre.
Let's see. Max had a bad. Yeah, Oubre had Embiid had 28, Oubre 23, Tobias 23, Maxey 18, and Korkmaz 10. Hey, is Tobias Harris the most overpaid player of our lifetime?
Yeah, because he's been that same guy, that 14 to 17, 5 rebounds, 2 assists guy. That's been his lot in life. A really good 4 that you would not pay 1 money. But I mean, that's what he's got. His contract is still 1 money in the NBA. It's wild. Even today, it's still 1 money.
Here's what I think. I think that Embiid, I think Philly gets worse. I think Embiid should request a trade out because the Philadelphia 76ers do not deserve good things.
The city of Philadelphia doesn't deserve good things.
Especially the Eagles.
That's why the fucking Phillies didn't make it to the World Series.
I mean, but think about this. They really chose Tobias Harris
over Jimmy Butler.
Because of Ben Simmons. What are we doing here? But yeah, Braun's been doing that pacing himself thing that me as a Braun fan hates. But it also is crazy that in year 21 he can turn it on and off. And even in the games that they've lost, he's kind of kept the games close. He'll do it when he needs to. And then, if his teammates don't deliver, they don't deliver. And he's like, hey, dog, I'm damn near 40. I can't give you 40 points in 40 minutes every night. I've got to score 25, 22 in D-Lo. You've got to make.
You gotta give me 20. Austin Reeves, you've got to give me 15. And AD, you really are the one, bro. You should be doing this 28 and 30 every night thing.
Yeah,
like,
you. I need 30, 15, and 25
because AD, you, my friend, since we won that championship, you've fallen out of that category that Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic are in. You've actually fallen. You're now the start of the second tier.
Yeah,
because you're not on that level with them. Clearly,
is Embiid really on that level?
Even though you were supposed to be.
Is Embiid really on that level?
He's an MVP now, so yeah. Yeah, all those guys are MVPs. Now, granted, he's the only one without the championship, but
he's the only one that hasn't made to the third round of the playoffs.
But is it his fault?
Yeah, he gets hurt
entirely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the Toronto year, that was the year they should have won that year. Like that was the year to win.
But yeah, he shouldn't have helped. He shouldn't have helped on Kawhi. He should have let Jimmy just stay there.
And some could argue maybe the year that we beat them maybe could have been that year too, considering they were the number one seed. But then that was the end of Ben Simmons in Philly. We broke the process. The who's their GM that coined that phrase?
Sam Hinkie.
Yeah, we broke that era team.
Oh yeah,
we broke that team because who the hell thinks the Atlanta Hawks are going to Philadelphia to win a game 7? Nobody.
I did.
Who? I mean, look, I bet on it too, but who also thinks that it even gets to a game 7 against that Hawks team? You got to remember that Hawks team fired Lloyd Pierce in the middle of the year. We were about 500, maybe even like 2 games below when they fired him. Nate comes in, we get hot. We're playing better basketball. You get the Knicks in that first round series. The Knicks were favored to win that series. You beat them in 5 because they just weren't a good team in reality. That was a team that overachieved. Yeah, they overachieved heavily. Then you go to Philly, this team that's made it to the, Boston's been their thorn, right? But now they're the number 1 seed. Embiid's an MVP candidate. Ben Simmons is, all-star, all-team, all-NBA. Like, he's one of those guys. And then Trae Young comes in and says, fuck you. Like Lou Will says, fuck you. Kevin Huerter, fuck you.
John Collins.
Fuck yeah, baptisms. Yeah, so no, I think that he is still up there. And maybe he's more of a regular season guy. I don't know. But
that's fair.
I don't blame him. He seems like he's always unhealthy too, though.
Always. And
that's how his career started, obviously. Like he was super unhealthy to start. And now it's almost like it's kind of coming back to get him. I don't know.
Any other NBA notes that you've seen that you care about? Jordan Poole? No, nothing. No swimming. Anything before we talk about Wemby?
Well, that's what we've been really waiting on this entire time.
Hey, babe, they're talking about Wemby.
Right.
I think Wemby is a good basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
I think Wemby is a rookie and is not as good as the media wanted him to be immediately.
Yeah.
I think that Wemby and his 7'4" ball handling skills don't work in the NBA where people actually have fast hands. I think that
him and his 8-foot wingspan.
Yeah, I think the Spurs have players who aren't bought into feeding Wemby, which I don't blame them. If I'm Vassell, if I'm Keldon Johnson,
yeah,
I'm getting paid a lot of money to play basketball, and I'm not getting paid here to fucking be Dwight Howard and Wembanyama in one-on-one workouts. So I'm gonna play my game, and your game is going to you're gonna play off of me, Rook. Carry my bags, nigga.
All right. He's like, go get the team McDonald's.
Yeah. And, hey, you get 2 Big Macs, little fella.
All right.
but I do think that we're not going to see the best of Wembanyama right now. I think it's calculated. I think they're putting him out there to figure out what he can do and what he can't do and let him learn on the fly, like learn his game.
Yeah.
And then I also think that, he's too skinny and too tall to use his skills in the way that he used them in the French league.
Yeah. And like I said, I think that at least what I've seen from it, the learning curve, he's gonna eventually get that learning curve, and he's gonna put on more weight. I think he's gonna be just fine though. Honestly, like you can see that like the skill is there.
Yes,
he's got the skill. Defensively, to me, he's kind of already there. Certainly as a rim protector, like he's there, already there. But the ball handling, yeah, obviously that's gonna need some work. Probably his on-ball defense probably is going to need a little bit more work too. But all in all, I think that with Pop, and especially Pop just signed an extension too, so that goes to show that, like, I mean, the plan is, I guess, for him is to not stop coaching until gosh, because what is Pop? He's got to be like 75, 74. He's old.
Yeah, but when he stops coaching, he dies.
So you think it's going to be a Joe Pa type thing?
Well, without the scandal, yeah.
Well, yeah. Think about it. Who would have had that on their bingo card? We have two different Joe Pa, being brought up on the show 2 different times. Nobody would have thought that.
No, nobody.
But yeah, no, I think that Wemby and the Spurs, they kind of are fun to watch, honestly.
Yeah, they are.
They're really entertaining. Like in the games that I've got to see, they just stole a game from Phoenix the other night. They get their rematch tonight. So I know KD's not going to let that shit slide again. I hope he doesn't. But
did you see the KD comment when they talked about him being Wemby's favorite player?
No, what did he say?
Like, damn, I'm getting old. I feel like KD might be the coolest NBA player to kick it with.
Possibly. I mean, what would make you think that though?
I
don't give a fuck mentality type thing.
Yeah, he even though he's 7 foot and super rich, he seems like he just wants to be just one of the guys. Like, yeah, I just want to play 2K with my partners, play Call of Duty, who step out, you know what I mean, utilize my vices, whatever those may be, and kind of just chill.
You mean porn stars?
Hey man, whatever he's into, I'm just.
Well, remember that because they were saying he was the one that, got Lana Rose, pregnant. Even though now it looks like it's Bruce Brown, right?
Hey man,
and that motherfucker's been hooping too.
Well, he's good at basketball.
Yeah,
he's just
money well spent by Indiana. Finally, a free agent that like works out.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody goes to the Pacers,
Why would they? I
mean, I wouldn't want to live in Indianapolis. And look, that is no shots in Indianapolis. I think their food seems a little underrated. I thought the food there was really good. But like, unlike how Keith Lee came to Atlanta, and that's like been the talk of the town about him just like shitting on that. And I know maybe we'll touch that too, along with the Saucy Santana stuff.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to touch Keith Lee. But we're not gonna allow Dwight to come in on that segment.
No.
Yeah, honestly, man, I don't have any concrete thoughts on the NBA yet because it's so early. The mid-season tournament kicks off tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my friends who played overseas, and he's like, yeah, man, they're just doing what we do overseas. Like, he was like, I played one team one day in the regular season, and then we had to play them the next day for the cup. Like, I just think the in-season tournament it's going to take 15 years for it to matter.
Yeah, and they're going to have to add more caveats to it too, like maybe a guarantee, especially if they keep the playing thing, like a guaranteed playing spot for the team that wins it.
And more
because that's going to incentivize a team like the
Bobcats.
The Detroit Pistons to like win it, like really go out there and win it.
Hey, you know what? They look like they might be pretty watchable.
You mean Cade?
Yeah, Cade. I like what I see from Cade. Jaden Ivey's not getting the burn we expect, but it's
I don't know how, because Killian Hayes fucking sucks. Like he does. He blows. Did you see his stat line the other night?
No, I know what Killian Hayes is, and I'm not interested in what he does.
He pulled a Najee Harris sighting. He pulled a Tony Snell.
Ooh,
Yeah. It was that bad. Yeah. on like 20 minutes too. And it was just like, wow, how does that happen? How are you 0 for 7, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists?
Because he's not good at basketball.
But he's a point guard. How do you not have at least 1 assist? I don't understand. Like, how did you not get to the line once?
Not aggressive enough. Yeah, but I mean, we got so much to look forward to in basketball season this year. I'm in no rush because it's football season right now. So, our focus is going to be on football. We'll talk about the big games. I hadn't even logged into League Pass on my TV this year yet.
Really? Me, I'm in a fantasy basketball league.
Oh, yeah, so you have to care day to day.
Well, it's good for betting purposes too, because I get to just kind of see this stuff. And like obviously you brought him up when I think Josh put Wiseman in or something, and you were like, but Durant's been cooking because he fucking has.
Yeah.
He's going for like 30. He's been having like these 15 and 15 games every night.
No, yeah, he's like peak Clint Capella right now.
Yeah.
Great drop, Najee Harris. I understand. I dropped a pass like that yesterday in my men's league flag football game.
Yeah. Then what happened to you?
I had 2 tubs.
Look at that. Look at Pablo Banchero actually putting some points up today.
Look at Paolo.
He had a 20-point game all year. And that was my bet tonight. I took him to get to 20 because I was like, there's just no fucking way.
It's Paolo, he's
because he actually looked good in the USA stuff too.
He's good at basketball, man. He's 6'8", can score.
Yeah.
Okay, Jalen Warren trying. Anything else NBA you want to talk?
Nah, let's move on to culture.
I do this for the culture. Yeah, we can't play that clip anymore because, like, as soon as they hear Kendrick's voice, YouTube just goes nuts. Let's talk about the wild week that was Atlanta that both of us kind of set out.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've been to now. You've only been to 2 since graduating, or no? Last year was your first one.
One, yeah.
See, I've been to 11 straight. To me, it was like, all right, this is my year to not go to this shit. Especially because my brother, we had already all decided like we're not getting a tent, so it was just like, oh well, I definitely don't want to go to that. But I knew too when the NFL schedule had came out that I was most definitely going to Nashville.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, good times by the way out there, of course.
Oh yeah, and for me, honestly, I'm a family man now, so my desire to go back kind of drops a little bit. And my wife is from El Salvador, so this whole nigga homecoming shit is not something that like registers in her brain of something being amazing.
Well, and then I know, especially with that too, I know how you said like obviously like she doesn't like to be in.
Yeah, she don't like she got anxiety. Yeah, I don't mind saying that on here. Like she has anxiety. She doesn't like large crowds, and there's a good chance that I'm going to be talking to somebody longer than I probably should. And she's just going to be standing there with low, like, okay, what do I do here?
Well, and certainly I wouldn't even, well, at that point with the baby, then you got to have a tent. You can't even, because walking around, that ain't,
well, no,
all that barbecue smoke, niggas smoking, drinking, a bunch of bumping into people, stepping on feet.
The plan was to do a lap, and there were a couple tents that I knew I could post up at for the day.
Yeah.
Where there wouldn't be weed smoke.
Yeah.
You're
professionals.
Yeah, I was going to hang out there. I was going to hang out with some of the alumni from that organization that I was in college, not a Greek organization. But they have a tent there. There wasn't going to be any weed smoke.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Our tent was like right next to theirs last year. It was like really cool.
I would hang out there, or I would hang out with the boinks.
Were they there? Did they go? Do you know?
Yeah, they went.
Okay,
yeah,
so they pretty much they go every year.
Yeah, so I reached out to Boink to see if his parents were going to be there because I was looking for my safety places.
Yeah,
and I go, okay, we got the Boinks probably on this end, we got that tent on this end. We'll spend most of our time like at the top end of the day around the Boinks, then we'll like make our way down to the other tent and all that stuff. And honestly, man, I'll be real with you. There's probably some people out there who I had pretty solid relationships with in college, who I haven't talked to since college, not really trying to run into you with my wife.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just being real. You might be a little too friendly, and you see me, but you don't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
if I'm not pushing the fucking if I'm not pushing the stroller,
Yeah.
you might start like, oh, AC, Adam, bye bye. And it's like,
A lot of drinking too going
yeah,
on.
and it's like, well, who is this? That's old work, baby. That's old work. Well, why is she so happy to see you?
Hadn't seen me in a minute. It's homecoming. This is what people come here for.
Yeah, it's been 10 years.
They come here to see you, you know. They don't know who they're gonna run into.
Yeah. I didn't know she was here. I don't follow her on Instagram. I mean,
well, we just went to school.
Yeah, we went to school. We crossed paths one night after a party, and you know, it's kind of what it was.
Yeah. It's just a high and by type thing.
Yeah. Now she did.
You got kids? Oh, me too.
Yeah. She gave me that strong 2-hand hug. Yeah. She gave me that hug, but like she didn't know. She wasn't disrespected on purpose.
Yeah.
But
just a history.
Yeah. That doesn't change what goes on in wife's brain, though. And
yeah,
I'm sitting here. I just don't want those problems.
Yeah. And I think too with homecoming, once you've been to one, you've been to all of them.
And man, we talked about this on the front end. Our group was so deep last year, and we saw each other like 5 times.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. And I mean, I see you on a regular basis. You throw in Julian Turner once every 2 months. It's like,
well, and now that was the thing, because he was the only one missing from last year. But then the irony of it all is that he was the only one this year that even went.
Oh, did Matt Flowers not even go?
Yeah, Matt wasn't there. But it's funny because Julian hung out. I see they're trying to get me. He actually hung out with Matt the night before because he missed his flight. He was supposed to get in town Friday, and he missed his flight. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if hardly anybody's there, it's okay.
Yeah, it's kind of just whatever.
But also, they had the one music fest going on in Atlanta, and I was more into that than homecoming.
Yeah.
A little Janet Jackson, a little Megan Thee Stallion, Kendrick Lamar. Janet brought out the soul.
It was a big week for sure, and that's why I knew it was great because the airport was empty in terms of going through security. Now, granted, I left on a Saturday afternoon, so maybe that's just not the busiest time anyways, but it was empty. My flight, I had no problem. Hell, I got first class. You know what I mean? That's how you know motherfuckers aren't flying on that day. Whenever the first class seats open up for a domestic flight.
You had a first class domestic seat open up on your pass?
Yeah, so I get first class. Typically more so with the international. I always like get first class there, but like that's because there's nobody can afford that shit. They're $3,000 one-way ticket. Fucking suck my dick. Like, you know what I mean? So those seats are typically open. But the thing is with domestic travel, people will buy those seats, and then on top of that, there are more frequent flyers who they give those seats to that get the free upgrade. So like, I don't ever truly expect to get it on a domestic flight unless it is an empty flight, which those don't exist. There's not too many of those. But every once in a while I get first class, but that's how I knew everybody was in Atlanta this past weekend too, because I'm like, okay, because nobody's going anywhere else. They're coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. What's that guy's name? Keith Lee.
Oh yeah. He exposed, according, if you let the internet tell you, Beyonce's internet, that is, he exposed Atlanta's food scene.
Hey, I got a question for you. When do we give the internet to Beyonce?
I don't know. I think it's just one of those things that some people like to say.
I thought it was Al Gore's internet.
Well, I think initially that's what it was, but it's under new management now. It really, people should say that it's Michael Jackson's internet. And you want to know why? Literally, the day that he died, I watched a whole, it wasn't a documentary, but it was like a YouTube video. It was like 20 minutes long, though. And it broke down how it changed the internet forever the day that he died. Like, TMZ existed, but TMZ actually became a thing that day. Everything crashed. Google never had crashed. Twitter crashed. Even though relatively new at the time, Twitter crashed. Yahoo crashed. PerezHilton.com crashed. They all, media takeout crashed. literally it changed the way that they had to set up the internet because they had never experienced that much volume and that much search of one person's name ever in the history of the internet. It still hasn't gotten to that point again. But we're talking Michael Jackson's also certainly at the time, and even I think today, even still to a degree, we're talking about the most popular musician artists of all time, right?
You know what's crazy? You talk about all that stuff crashing. I actually witnessed a car crash on that day.
Really?
Yeah, one of my good friends from high school, shout out to her. She just happened to be across from me in an intersection. That's not a touchdown. She was across from me in an intersection, and I saw her going straight, and there was a guy speeding the other way, and it was a two-way stop. And he took off her front end. His car slid sideways, and as his car is still sliding, he's yelling out the window, "Fuck you, bitch!"
Wow.
And yeah, he was upset. He was ready to beat her up. He had a young baby in the car, so I can understand his frustration.
That was a touchdown.
No, they're gonna overturn it.
Oh.
I can understand his frustration, but the guy was going like 70 in a 40. So he ended up getting a ticket. And I mean, when I tell you she was a split second from dying. And this was somebody who I was actually pretty cool with.
Yeah.
Like we're actually still cool to this day. Like we've spoken in the last week.
Because I guess we were in high school too.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, I almost watched one of my friends die. Oh God, I'm so happy she didn't die.
Right.
It was scary. And she's like, are you gonna help me? I'm like, well, you want to fight this nigga? Like, I don't fight.
Matter of fact, they're in another car too, you know?
No, he got out. He got out and he was
it was that kind.
Yeah, no, like I'm telling you, like his car was sliding sideways and he's yelling out the passenger side window, whatever, mad as hell. And then he as soon as that car stops, he climbing out that bitch ready to rumble.
Yeah, it was on.
Yeah, but the police got there quickly.
Yeah.
Good job.
More importantly, he was going to fight a woman.
I mean, he was hyped up, man. I don't know what he was going to do. It's the South.
Well, that's when you wait to see if they pull there. But you know what? Well, I guess in 2009, that still would have been kind of a thing. I was in the car, too. I was actually in a car, too, though, when I got that news.
Wow, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah,
I had just left a basketball workout.
I was on my way. So we had a tournament that weekend. You know how you do the June tournaments with the school.
Yeah.
We had a game and then we had like 2 hours in between games, and I lived 7 minutes from the school, so I went home because I had a car.
Right.
So I took my ass home, and I was on my way back to go play, and I was almost late. I hit up my coach. Hey, coach, just witnessed an accident. I got to give a statement. I should be there in time, but yeah, dog, I'm like one of two eyewitnesses, man. I kind of got to stay here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. But anyways, this Keith Lee guy, he came and told everybody in Atlanta what we already know about Atlanta restaurants.
Yeah. That the service is bad.
The food is good, and we don't care.
Right. Well, and that a lot of these restaurants have rules. And then, Cardi B, she chimed in too, which I thought what she said was actually super duper relevant too. A lot of places in Atlanta are closed. Like she's like, there's so many places that are like closed Monday. She said Monday through Wednesday, but typically it's Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
There are a lot of restaurants that are closed. And then even a lot of those restaurants, bro, they don't be open for lunch. They be open 5 to 10, nigga. Like that is when they're open. They're open 5 to 10. 5 days out of the week, and if you don't get a reservation the week before, good fucking luck. You know what I mean? Like, good luck.
And the whole thing. Here's what bothered me most about his review of the spot. That spot.
Old Lady Gang.
Old Lady Gang.
You know what's funny? So this is even crazier. Actually, I think I know what day he was there, and the reason why is because I was taking an Uber, and there were. Now, I don't know. I doubt he would set that up because he looks like he just does everything from his phone. But they had a camera crew. But then again, Candy Burris could have been there too. and it could have been shooting for the Real Housewives. I don't know, but there was a camera crew there like last week.
Hey, but here's the thing, right? He says he sends his family in because he doesn't want special treatment. Hey, dog, you got a big following. You're going to get special treatment when you show up.
Yeah.
And
specifically because you are a food reviewer. Like,
right.
Literally. Like, that's literally because now they know you're coming. Like, whoever's back there chefing is like, nah, we making.
Yeah. The manager's like, hey, nah, you get him a table right now. Right. So then he comes in and they like, oh, yeah, we can seat you right now. And he's knocking them for not doing takeout. Well, man, if they're busy in here, hey, I only got so many cooks, dog. We can't support takeout.
More importantly, if you're reviewing the food, it's probably best that you do eat it there anyways. Like,
true.
If you eat it, even if you got it straight out the takeout, it still is not going to be.
It's in plastic, man. It's
it's sweating on the food because it's hot. You know.
Yeah. And then, but he's talking about how they were ready to seat him. Yeah, dog. That's what happens when you got clout. There are, and we were talking about this at work the other day because somebody brought it up because he's from the East Side, and I go, look, dog. I went to a spot here where I'm a regular at. I arrived there to meet some people from work and realized I didn't have my wallet. Now, I was only there to have drinks because wife had already cooked. They gave me late dinner plans. I'm like, okay, I'll come have a couple drinks.
Right.
I tell the bartender, like, hey, man, I just realized I left my wallet at work. Like, I didn't, like, I had it in my desk, didn't realize it, whoop to whoop. He goes, oh, man, don't worry about it. I got you. Because I asked him if he had Apple Pay. They didn't have Apple Pay because I could pay with my phone or whatever. I end up finding my card number because I had it like saved from a screenshot somewhere in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But he was going to let me drink all night and he was just going to put it on his tab. You know why? Because I'm a regular and I tip well.
Well, and he knows that you're not trying to get over on him. And he knows you'll be back. So even with an IOU.
Yeah, I'll pay you back, bro. Like,
yeah.
That's what happens when you're a regular somewhere or you're somebody that's your service is valued by the institution. And I get it. Every customer should be valued, but they're not.
But by the way, Devin Booker's playing tonight. Did not know that.
Good for him. I just thought it was nasty that he acts like him getting special treatment is a knock on the restaurant. And then he ends it with saying, hey, don't take what I say. You should go experience it for yourself.
Right.
No, you just shitted on this place. Why the fuck would I go there?
Right.
You didn't eat the food. You didn't even you weren't even there long enough to validate whether or not the bad service is worth it.
Right. You're really giving us this empty review on the service and not the food, but then you're telling us to go see for ourselves, and it's like, well, why would I want to waste my time to go someplace that you can't even validate food wise, but I do know that I'm going to get bad customer service? Why would I want to check that out? Like, and that's another thing that I don't like about food reviews anyways. You could catch somebody on a really bad day, and I'm not saying that is why the service should be bad, but it could just be a bad day, like to just try and catch something, whether they're overpacked, like whatever it is. Everybody's experience is going to be different.
Yeah.
You know, now there are certain stuff that there are certain places that, like you said, if you're a regular somewhere, you know exactly how it goes.
Exactly. When I'm here, I'm here. So it don't matter what the fuck going on in here.
This guy, Will Levis, blows.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Penalty.
They got a PI?
Yep. Or illegal touching something.
First down.
Little Dwight Howard action.
He liked that. But yeah, just it's interesting how one guy could stir up so much in a food scene that I know a lot about. Now, I'll say this much too. One of the powers of what he did, like I think one of the I didn't see every restaurant that he did. I know that Old Lady Gang was like one of the first places he went. And of course, I've been to Old Lady Gang, but like, it's, to me, that ain't Southern food. Like, I mean, that shit's There are other places that you can go and get that type of food.
Candy Burris doesn't want to pay taxes, okay? So she opens up a restaurant so she can put her money into the restaurant and not pay fucking taxes.
Right.
She has Real Housewives, so she's famous. I mean, she was famous before Real Housewives, but she becomes relevant.
I didn't realize how many songs she wrote.
Yeah.
Her pen is really what got her paid. She wrote like all Destiny Child's music.
Like she's definitely heard, but she is relevant today because of Real Housewives, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's what happens. Like,
but the pen game, nigga, like she wrote bills. Like, you know what I mean? She wrote that song for them.
Boom, 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 boom.
And boom, 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 boom. She wrote that, bro. She wrote like an NSYNC song or a Backstreet Boys song, like one of their more popular songs. She has a writing credit. And I didn't realize that Candy Burris was the girl that I didn't even, and I knew this by the name when you look at it. Did you know that was her with E40 and T-Pain on You and That?
No.
Yes, bro, that's her. She's the Candy on that song. There's a girl, I know you want that, son. Can you handle this pussy? That's her.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I swear to God, I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I literally did get to see the writing credits like that she has.
Yeah, I'm looking at
her. That's her. That's literally her.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of her writing credits. She wrote a song for Ariana Grande. She wrote Bugaboo. Let's see. What other hits did she write?
But she's Candy Girl, literally on You and That. That's the craziest shit. Oh, look at Derrick Henry getting your boy some more points.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's a fucking hog.
She wrote Good Love by TLC. Let's see what else.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. That's what I said when I thought about, because I didn't really know who she was, to be completely honest. I knew she was a part of Escape, but like, yeah, I didn't know who she really was.
Oh, she wrote If I Was Your Man by Joe.
Yeah.
Look you from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Nothing is familiar than the sounds of me. Oh, golly. Nah, her pen is crazy.
Bro, she's got a writing credit for the Baja Men.
Bro, she wrote No Scrubs and No Pigeons.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying though. Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. Well, it looks like because of the No Scrubs interpolation, but
her pen is nuts.
Yeah, basically. I'm just saying that's how she's like really rich. Like,
yeah, that's why she opens a restaurant like Old Lady Gang, because she don't want to pay taxes because she's got this money coming and I got to put it somewhere. Goddamn it.
Yeah. I know churches that are trying to do stuff like that, but
me too. I tell you what my pops told me about that, like being the trend.
No.
Yeah, so I talked to my pops about it. My pops is a pastor, and I told him how it made me feel, and he was like, "Yo, that's the thing. Like they're preaching like at these conventions and stuff, and churches are having a larger economic impact in the communities."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm not mad at it." But he was like, "But what is it doing to spread God's message?" I said, "Hey, man, you're the preacher, not me."
Right.
I love when my dad, like, when we talk about religion and stuff with my pops, I'd be like, "Well, hey, dog, you the preacher." I don't know.
How do you throw a negative 8-yard pass?
Your name's Kenny, Kenny Pickett?
No. It hasn't popped up on my screen
yet.
It
was Will Levis. I'm sorry. Same thing.
But I'm just trying to see, how does this work? How did this work? Oh, they ran a trick.
Hey, Paulie P, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast last night, and Joe Budden had some of the more famous ladies of the night who work at Starlets on there.
Mm-hmm.
And they started, this chick was talking about one of her funnest nights working as, I think, a bartender. Apparently the bartenders in New York, they're scantily clad and they shake ass all night. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Haven't done a New York strip club scene.
Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, FYI, now I know that you might not know, change, because obviously now that Mariana has left, so I actually am going to be at that game.
Yeah, we talked about that.
If you're still interested in going up, if it can work, I'm just saying. All you got to do is do a Saturday, Sunday, leave right after the game.
I'll see what I can do.
Just check it. Just let me know because I am going to be at it.
Just know I'm
Her
interested.
birthday is the next day, but I'm just going to be up there. So,
But we were they were talking about this, and the chick said one of the funnest nights was it was a money war night. This guy comes in, he takes out like $6K, throws it, buying bottles and shit or buying drinks and shit. Then another guy takes out like $7K, so he one-ups him. He does like $8K. This other guy goes home and comes back with like 10,000. And long story short, these two dudes don't appear to know each other, aren't speaking to each other. They're just in the club competing.
feels like a Cold War.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, y'all niggas corny.
Is that worse than the thing that was going on, I think, in Houston where the guys were pouring out the bottles? Like they weren't even they were ordering the bottles just to pour them out.
But you know,
like they kept buying bottles just to like.
And I put that in the same pocket. Like, what the fuck is going on in urban nigga culture to make like, hey dog, we got so much money, we gonna pay $500 for $150 bottle and pour it out. Excuse me?
Nigga, because we balling like that.
That's like Burna Boy turning down the $5 million to go perform
and smoke weed. It's just like, nigga, are you kidding?
Bro, you know you can like fly to a country where you can smoke weed, get high out of your mind, bring you an edible on your flight, and then go pick up your bag, eat the edible right before you perform, and then leave Dubai. And as somebody who's been to Dubai and didn't smoke any pot in Dubai, hey dog, I ain't Burna Boy. I ain't that famous. I ain't that rich. I ain't got them hits. But the way that I was treated in Dubai as just a regular man, I could take 24 hours off the pot.
He's an idiot. It honestly makes me not believe the story. And I mean, it could be obviously true because there's so much money over there. But I don't even think Beyonce got offered that much when she did her thing. She did like a two. If you remember, before she did her tour, this was like her like rehearsal, like really before.
She did like private parties though.
Yeah, but I don't even remember if she was getting 5.
And I mean, Wayne talked about when he went over there and he was treated like a king. Like they allowed Wayne to do what he wanted on his venture to Dubai. But I want to get it back to the money wars and to like the Burna Boy thing and the Houston thing. I think we can tie it all together.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, why are these po-ass niggas, generationally po-ass niggas, just wasting money? Like,
because it's not theirs. They're scammers. It's easy to spend money when it's not yours. It is, especially if it seems like it's kind of unlimited, unlimited. Because you're taking it from somebody else.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. As somebody who professionally has been in charge of really big budgets of money that's not mine, and a lot of those budget decisions don't affect what I do. I mean, yeah, if somebody wants to spend money on something stupid, I'll be like, hey, that's stupid. Why are you spending money on that? But when then somebody wants to spend like $30,000 on one thing they think is really cool, do you know how much I scrutinize that shit? I go, why? What does this like? What are you getting from this piece of equipment, or what are you getting from this purchase? Oh, I like it. I think it's really cool. Well, you know, we can get this same thing that does that for $10,000.
Yeah.
Guess what we're gonna do? I'm gonna order the $10,000 thing because I mean, again, me spending this money does not affect my budget because I never would allow other people's purchases to affect my budget. And the way we would like, you know, you section the money off for the different commodities and shit like that. I don't want to nerd out too much, but like, hey, are you sure you want to spend your first and second quarter budget on like 2 things? Yeah, y'all niggas gonna need some toilet paper, dog.
Yeah.
And if you come to me for toilet paper, You ain't getting Angel Soft. If I gotta go into my safety stock, you getting that see-through shit.
All right. Well, you mean the shit that breaks up in your hand?
Yeah, nah, the shit where you wipe your ass and you got shit on your fingers. That goddamn gas station toilet paper. We on a road trip and you mad you got shit.
Well, that is so bad, toilet paper. And niggas like, you know what? I'm just gonna use a paper towel. and I'm gonna try, if it's a 2-layer paper towel, I'm gonna just, try and like yeah. I know it's gonna hurt my ass, but I'd rather go down that route. Like,
and I also think because I've had some other conversations, right? Because you got like guys who spend like ass loads of money on women for their time and attention and not like their sex. And hey, man, do what you do, right? But a lot of those guys want the sex, but they don't talk about the sex.
all right.
And I'll be vulnerable here. I've definitely tricked off on a chick and didn't convey the message that I wanted in the right way. Because my style is my style. I'm laid back with it. So like if you ain't biting, well, not even if you ain't biting, if you ain't casting a reel, I ain't biting. So
yeah.
So it is what it is. But like hey shorty, I'm not cash apping you though. We just got a good meal. Or we went out and you had a lot of drinks and I'm okay with that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like spending 15,000, let's say niggas spent 10, 15,000. He say, let's say 15,000, right?
Yeah.
He probably spent like closer to 20. What do you get from that? You can't write it off.
I guess you get a story.
Like, nigga, go buy a Honda.
Yeah, I'm guessing that you get a story, but like I said, a lot of times these guys they're not spending their money. So,
bro, it's so weird to me. Like, I've spent $300, $350 on a bad date before.
But never just wastefully.
Nah,
basically a fuck it.
I think the most I've ever spent in a strip club in one night is like maybe $400. Maybe $5 if you throw in drinks. But it was a fun time. It was like I was having fun and I didn't care.
Yeah.
I went in there with a budget and I didn't go over budget. And I wasn't spending the money to have sex with the strippers. I was spending the money because that's what I wanted to do that night.
Yeah.
Maybe a bad decision, but that's what I wanted to do.
Just having a little fun.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird to me. And I think it's a nasty thing in our culture where this whole flexing and showing off how much money you have like dominates what we should do. What you got?
The Spurs are just absolutely hammering the Suns right now. It's 39-20.
Oh man, they'll make it.
Now look, this is the NBA, right? And Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are on this team that's down. So, but 39-20.
Hey, Vasil has 11. Wemby has 7.
Yeah. A lot of ball distribution.
Jetty Osman has 6.
Jetty will pick up too for them getting him.
He's a Spurs type of player, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Was there something else in black culture that I wanted to ask you about that I thought was stupid? Are we bad black people because we think so much of popular black culture is dumb?
No, that's just the reality of it. It is. Because what does it center around?
Showing people who don't have money that you have money and you're better than them.
Even though you don't even, on the grand scale of things, probably really don't have money either. But it's like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, and it's like, back to like the strippers and bartenders. Hey, man, if you got some good conversation, bro, they're going to like you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can
just tip nice.
Yeah, if you tip nice,
come back a second time, or see like, hey, yeah, what days do you work up here? Like,
yeah,
I like this was great.
like if you're consistent, like I remember back when I was strip club poppy. I would go out, I'll go to strip club, pull out 200, and that 200 didn't go to just one stripper.
Yeah.
But I built great relationships in that strip club off of 200 cash. Like, and they already knew, hey, dog, what I come in here with, I'm gonna pull out my 200 before I come. I'm gonna turn that 200 into ones, and I ain't spending no more.
Right, that's gonna be the end of this.
So if you want it in lap dance, if you want it in pole dance, just know once it's gone,
that's
and
it.
I mean, like, it would be nice where I'll be in there and I wouldn't even be spending, like, I wouldn't even have to spend money though to like get the attention. Like I'm just sitting over there having my drink off in the cut, because when you sit by the stage, the girls expect you to throw money, but it's like, hey dog, you're ugly and your act was trash. You fucking dance to pour some sugar on me. I'm not throwing you one red cent.
Well, pour some sugar on me, huh?
Yeah, no, nigga, like hell no, I ain't got no sugar for you, girl. Get the fuck out of my face. But then like, and you sit over there with a stripper who does well, and she's sitting there talking to you, and it's like, hey, shorty, you on the clock. Go make your money. You ain't making no money sitting next to me, because I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm not paying you for conversation.
No, exactly.
Why are you doing that? Last thing for you. I came across this, and it's more relationship based. And it said, I don't want to win the argument or feel right. That's not the point nor my objective. I want to feel like we've come to an understanding on the issue at hand. I want both of us to walk away feeling heard, understood. It's not a competition. I read that and I said, that's definitely written by a woman.
Yeah.
And I do want you to feel heard and understood. But I also want you to know that I heard you, I understood you, and if your ass is wrong, your ass is wrong. It ain't about me winning the argument, but it is about, hey dog, if you're wrong,
just admit that you're wrong.
Yeah, I need to know that you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong because I want to win this argument.
Now there was something similar that got put up in the group, if you remember.
Yeah, I said,
huh?
The one about defending your girl in public?
Yes. Now, see, I was hard to agree with that. To where, huh?
You want me to play that one? I got it right here.
Go ahead, run it.
When narcissists, when they target you, they first love bomb you and take you to a certain high to release a lot of dopamine in your body that you've.
Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. My bad.
Narcissist.
That's about narcissists. Let me find it. Give me 1 second, because I do want to.
But it kind of ties in with that too, just in a sense of, yeah, in public, like I'm just gonna be, I'm with you, right? Like there's no reason for me to not. But then afterwards,
it depends on what you did for me.
Well, I have to imagine it can be an unserious thing. Now look.
Oh, here we go. It was the same woman actually talking.
It has to be if it's in public, and even more so if it's about another girl. Even if you don't logically think that she's correct, it doesn't matter. You're not a referee. Your job is not to be impartial. Your job is to be her man. If you do disagree with her, you better make sure it doesn't sound like you're siding with another female. What are you trying to do? Make another woman feel more special? Trust me, you are not doing that girl any favors. All she's gonna see is a guy who disrespects his woman and has to.
I think she's full of shit. For one, if my wife is wrong in public, and again, I tend to side with my wife in public. It depends on the crowd, because public is so.
Well, she's saying between two women, but you have to even think, what type of conversation would this be about, and what would they be wrong about, or is this an opinion-based thing to where facts can support one opinion a little bit better, but the other person's just swearing that no, that's not true. You're an idiot. Like,
And who's the other woman, right? Like if it's me and my guys hanging out with our ladies, oh man, right is right, wrong is wrong. Like fuck all that. Like
yeah,
if my old lady wrong, she wrong. Now
Yeah.
if it's a random chick, yeah, I'm gonna take her side. If it's like a single chick, and I'm gonna take my girl's side in public. But the idea of the whole, you telling me not to be a logical human being here?
yeah. Now look, and that's what I mean. But like, if it's something else, like I don't know, like facts are facts, right? Like men lie, women lie, numbers don't, right? So if there's certain stuff, like there was one time I went to the gym, and now this is completely different. It's not about women or anything, but there was a guy in the gym that like just swore up and down that the Yankees were the team that came back against the Red Sox down 3-0. And I was like, no, that was the Red Sox. And like the dude was like, no, man, it was the Yankees. And I'm just thinking to myself, nigga, okay. And I just let him have it because I'm just like, okay, I'm not about to sit here and argue a fact. But if it's something that's more of an argument of which side do you take, even if I agree with what the other person is saying, like I'm not saying, oh, I'm about to back you. If anything, I might not say anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna back
I
out.
still will later tell her you were wrong. Like,
Right. But the whole thing of her saying all you're doing is showing this woman that you disrespect your woman. Oh, that's some bullshit. You must not know hoes. You must not know a woman who wants a man who's in a relationship.
right.
She don't care about that shit. She don't respect herself.
Yeah.
So why do you think she care about how much I respect her or respect my old lady?
Yeah. No, I mean, these are facts, but like, you know, just in that situation though, like that is one thing that I did kind of agree. Now, the way that she made it sound, I'm like, this ain't about giving no other woman confidence, like, or anything like that. But I understood the logic behind what do you get away from doing that in front of somebody else. Now, like you said, it depends on who it is and it depends on the conversation. But yeah, if it's like somebody random, like I'm not going to side with them, but I will still address it later and let her know. Like,
yeah, bro, if we're having one of those weird conversations, even if it's like amongst family, I'm gonna side with Cindy, like in that conversation, or I'm gonna stay out of it.
exactly, and that's probably really the way to go, right?
And probably the piece that doesn't sit well with women is when they ask me, what do I think? Oh man, I don't.
Right.
Which tells everybody, well, I don't agree with my woman. So
man, what do you think? He's like, I don't.
But as a man, you know, side with your woman in public when she wrong, that's all about not wanting to argue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. Like, how dare you side with that other bitch in front of me? Like, what you trying to do? I ain't trying to do nothing with her. You just said something that I thought was stupid. And what she said, I thought made sense. So I followed the logic.
Right.
And that's what I typically do, is follow the logic. I don't follow my feelings and emotions. Not to say that you did. I just disagree with your logic.
It's a woman thing anyways.
I mean, that's what they say, but I'm not a woman, so I don't know how women think, and I'm not going to speak for women. But shit, man. Hey, Parlay Pete, how much do you care about Saucy Santana versus DJ Academics? Yeah, I didn't think so. You want to call it a show?
Let's call it. I got to get ready to pick up some food anyway, so.
Yeah, I got to give me a little snack and knock out some homework. Man, it's been good. Oh, I'll see you on Sunday, won't I?
You will.
Got a home game.
Hopefully. I should be back, yeah.
I hope you're back.
I hope so, too. I just hope it doesn't end up, because that's what happened last time. What it was is I just couldn't get out of there. Like, and I was kind of hungover.
Oh,
but like.
Shocker.
Well, I had to be up. Bro, the flight was like at 6 a.m. because they don't do direct flights anymore from New York. So I would have had to buy one. And then when I looked at buying one, even that next flight was like at 10. And I was like, I'm not making it to the airport. I was like, I need to just watch the first half here and then get on the plane so I can get home in time.
Hey, well, here's the thing. Maybe you take it easy on the sauce on Saturday night so you can get
I'm
up.
not even, yeah. Well, what it is, I'm going to probably have her with me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not even going to drink. We're just going to go out and get pizza and go to Rockefeller Center. I don't know. Something like that.
Oh yeah, go ice skate or something if they got the ice rink out there.
I don't know how to ice skate, but I tell you, I'd be willing to learn with her.
Do you know how to rollerblade?
No.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
Hey, look here. If she's gonna be a New Yorker, you gotta learn how to ice skate because y'all gotta go to Rockefeller.
1 year, she's coming back. I mean, granted, they got the ice skating in Atlantic Station too, but
It's different, bro. We in the South. Nobody give a fuck about ice skate.
yeah.
Oh shit. Stay on.
Okay.
Hey, that's the show, guys. Yeah, we did 3.5 hours today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We got some great picks for you all. We talked about some stuff. And hey, fellas, side with your woman in public, okay?
No matter what.
No matter what, she's right. She's always right. And then when you get home, you read her the riot act, okay? That's a joke.